A very warm welcome to our very first lecture of UGC-NET history. Alright, so this is me, Nicky Sinha, and I'm going to be your faculty for UGC-NET history. Alright, so आज का जो हमारा lecture है, that's more about orientation, where we'll be discussing about the syllabus, strategy, हम कैसे पूरा जो syllabus है वो cover करेंगे, कितनी classes होंगी, क्या होंगी, तो ये सारी चीजें जो हैं आज के हम orientation में, that is what we will be discussing. Alright. So this will give you a glimpse into what we are planning, how we are planning, how we will do it, everything. Fine. So let's start. All right. So आज क्या है? आज हमारा orientation है, and what are we going to cover in this? So first of all, we will focus on the syllabus discussion. All right. So we will discuss the syllabus, then we will discuss the class strategy, and then I am just going to tell you some of my thoughts which I think it's necessary for us to, prepare and do well in our NET exams. Okay. और जैसा कि आप जानते हो कि ये वाला जो NET exam है वो re-exam हो रहा है, ठीक है? So just be careful regarding everything. Most importantly, हमें अपने preparation को लेकर के we have to be really thorough with our preparations. All right. So that is what we will do. So सबसे पहले हम जो है वो syllabus discussion start करते हैं. Now if you want the syllabus, you can download it from the website of National Testing Agency. Fine. वो आप subject code है 06, आप वहाँ से उसको download कर सकते हो, ठीक है? Always have your PDF with you, ठीक है? It's very important that you have that PDF with you because it will really help you understand what have you covered, what have you not covered. वो सब चीजें जो है ना आपको एकदम अच्छे से clear हो जाएंगी, ठीक है? So always have that syllabus with you. चलिए, तो सबसे पहले हम आते हैं Unit 1 में. Now whenever we start with a unit or whenever we start with a period, we first of all have our sources. अब ये sources जो हैं ये बहुत important हैं, fine. जैसा कि आप देख सकते हो कि पहला यूनिट जो है हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं what with negotiating sources, all right, and this is your ancient India, all right, or you can call it prehistoric time period plus ancient India, ठीक है? तो इसमें हम क्या कवर कर रहे हैं? इसमें हम प्री हिस्ट्री प्लस एंशिएंट इंडिया जो है वो कवर करेंगे. So what do we start with? Fine. We start with negotiating sources. तो इसमें हम archaeological sources, exploration, excavation, epigraphy, numismatic sources, primary, secondary literature, ये सब हम इसमें जो है वो focus करेंगे. Now in here you actually have a lot of sources. All right. You have Ved, you have Vedang, you have religious, literary sources, archaeological, numismatics, epigraphics, ये सब आएंगे आपके, ठीक है? So in here you must know the definition of these sources, fine. And you know what? Most importantly, आपको एक और चीज है जो पता होनी चाहिए, वो है इनके sites, alright? Generally आप पता है इनसे question यही देखोगे कि they're going to ask you about the sites in which these sources have been found. Like the inscriptions कहाँ पे मिले हैं, ये वाला inscription like प्रयाग पिलर प्रशस्ति, where has this been found, who composed it. तो इस तरह के questions you're going to see a lot from where? From your sources. So that is very important for you to know. So I'll be telling you a lot in detail. मैं बहुत सारी चीजें आपको detail में बताऊंगी regarding sources and everything. So just be very careful about it. I'll tell you what they are, I'll tell you who composed it, I'll tell you all the locations and everything. So all that will be done in detail. Okay? Okay. Then we move on to the next one. Now this is your period of prehistory. So here we will be covering from Paleolithic, all right, to the Neolithic phase. Okay. So we will start with Paleolithic, we'll focus on lower, middle, upper Paleolithic, then Mesolithic, then Neolithic, and then we'll also move on a little bit to the Chalcolithic. Now, इसमें हम क्या-क्या cover करेंगे? So most importantly, we'll be covering the tools, we'll be covering the areas, the locations. वो बहुत important है guys, the locations are absolutely important. The locations, the areas, where what has been found, कोई बहुत सारे artifacts हैं, तो artifacts हमें मिले कहाँ हैं? where have those been found, so what is the location, वो भी again बहुत ज़्यादा important है, तो उन चीज़ों पे भी हम focus करेंगे, ठीक है? And then we'll be focusing on the subsistence strategy, the planning, the house planning, etc. But most importantly, हम दो चीज़ों पे focus करेंगे, which is your tools, subsistence strategy, and the areas where these things have been found, where the artifacts have been discovered from. And we will be starting from Paleolithic again to Neolithic. Okay, आप देखेंगे guys, बहुत detail में ये सारी चीजें cover होंगी. Okay, then we move on to the civilization phase, which is your Harappan civilization. We'll discuss the origin, extent, major site, settlement pattern, craft specialization, religion, society, polity, decline. We'll be focusing on each of these aspects of the Indus Valley civilization. Sorry. Alright, then we will move on to the Vedic and later Vedic period. We'll be focusing on the Aryan invasion theory, the debate which is there that whether there was actually an Aryan invasion theory or not, था भी या नहीं, हम उस पे focus करेंगे. Political and social institutions during this period, the state structure, the theories of state, emergence of one and social stratification, religious and philosophical ideas, इन सब पे हमारा बहुत अच्छे से focus होगा, ठीक है? Then from here we move on to the expansion of the state system, which is your Mahajanpads. Remember the location, remember the capital, alright? Mahajanpads में बहुत जरूरी है याद रखना location क्या है, capital क्या है, and you can also remember some important features regarding them. Fine. We will discuss about the monarchical and republican states. So we will discuss about the areas, the Mahajanpads which are monarchical. At the same time, we will be discussing about some of them which are state in the sense which are republic, which are ruled by Gan and Sangh. So वो हम discuss करेंगे. We'll discuss the economic and social development, the second urbanization and emergence of Jainism, Buddhism and the Ajivikas. Okay. So we will be focusing on what? We will be focusing on political, social, economic plus the religious aspects of what? Of the Mahajanpads. तो जो पूरा Mahajanpads का period है उसमें हम social, political, economic, religious aspects के ऊपर इसमें पूरा का पूरा focus करेंगे, ठीक है? Okay. Now, Unit 2 again is a part of your ancient India only, but you can call it a little, you know, like the later ancient stages, you can call it like that, fine. So, Unit 2 we will see about the rise of empire. So, here basically what we're seeing is, we're seeing from rise of Mahajanpads to the rise of an empire. So, महाजनपद से हम किसको देखेंगे? महाजनपद से हम transition करेंगे towards the rise of an empire, which is your Magad. Okay, we will focus on Greek invasion under Alexander, the effects that it had, the modern expansion, polity, society, economy, Ashoka's Dhamma, its nature, decline, disintegration, fine. And most importantly, हम focus करेंगे Ashokan edicts, language and script. Now, यहाँ पे जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं, you also have modern art and architecture. Okay. Now guys, these are very factual information, isn't it? ये बहुत factual होता है and I don't think there's a lot to explain here. Fine. So you know what? These art and architecture portions, they will be given to you in the form of handouts. ठीक है? मैं पूरा इसको नोट्स फॉर्मेट में आपके एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आपको एक पूरा नोट्स फॉर्मेट में बना करके आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू अ हैंड आउट, आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू अ ड्रिल शीट काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग. यू विल हैव ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन देयर, यू जस्ट हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. नाउ जस्ट इन केस आपको वो हैंड आउट में कुछ कंफ्यूजन होता है, नहीं समझ में आ रहा कि यार मैम ये तो समझ में नहीं आया, then you can simply join me in the doubt clearing session. So you can ask me कि मैम ये वाला पोर्शन जो है वो हमें नहीं समझ में आया था, तो प्लीज आप हमें बता दीजिए. So this will be given to you in the form of handouts. Rest will be covered in the class itself. Okay. Then what we see is, now देखो generally ना pattern follow होता है. Whenever you have an empire and whenever you have a disintegration of an empire, you know what it will result in? the disintegration of an empire would result in the formation of regional kingdoms, you can say. तो जब कोई बड़ा empire break करता है, so you have formation of small kingdoms, ठीक है? तो हम यहाँ पे वही emergence of regional powers देखेंगे, which is Shunga, Satavahanas, Kushan, Shak Kshatrapas, the Sangam literature, and the society which was there in South India, which is reflected in the Sangam literature, trade and commerce. So yahan pe again we'll be focusing on what? We'll be focusing on society, economy, polity and religion. ठीक है? तो अगेन हम यहाँ पे इन तीन चीजों पे क्या करेंगे? इन चार चीजों पे हम फोकस करेंगे, ठीक है? फ्रॉम कौन सा टाइम पे? द टाइम व्हेन यू हैव इमर्जेंस ऑफ रीजनल पावर्स, ठीक है? ओके, ऑलराइट, सो वील आल्सो सी द इमर्ज, जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा रीजनल, जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा रिलीजियस, सो वील फोकस ऑन महायान बुद्धिज्म, खारवेल, जैनिज्म एक्सेट्रा. एंड अगेन गाइज आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर आया है. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी गिवन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ हैंडआउट्स, ठीक है? सो गांधार, अमरावती, मथुरा स्कूल, ये सब. ओके, then we move on to the Guptas in the Vaktak age. So from again we have one big empire. Then we moved on to what? Then we moved on to small regional kingdoms. Okay? And then once again we will move on to one big empire. Fine? So एक बड़ा empire disintegrate होता है, small regional kingdoms आते हैं, and then you have once again formation of a huge empire in the form of Guptas and the Vaktaks. ठीक है? तो इनके में यानी गुप्तास एंड वाक्टक्स की अगेन हम हर चीज पे फोकस करेंगे. सोसाइटी, अग्रेरियन इकोनॉमी, लैंड ग्रांट्स, लैंड रेवेन्यू, लैंड राइट्स, कॉइन्स एक्सेट्रा, टेम्पल आर्किटेक्चर, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पुरानिक हिंदुइज्म, संस्कृत लैंग्वेज, everything. So we will focus on society, economy, polity, development, science, mathematics, astronomy, religion. हर एक चीज पे हम फोकस करेंगे. We'll focus on all of these aspects of the Guptas and the Vaktaks. ठीक है? Then what do we have? Then we will focus on Harsh and his time. So mostly we will focus on administration and religion over here. Then we will focus on Shalakhanyas and Vishnu Kundins in Andhra Pradesh. एक बहुत छोटा सा टॉपिक है लेकिन फिर भी हम इसको कवर करेंगे. Okay. Then what do we have? Then we move on to Unit 3. Now Unit 3 is your early medieval age. Okay. So early medieval age में हमें क्या क्या कवर करना है? So in this we are going to divide it geographically. Fine. तो सबसे पहले we'll cover the kingdoms which is in the Deccan, which is Ganga, Kadamba, Western Eastern Chalukya, Rashtrakuta, Kalyani Chalukya, Kaikatya, Hoysal, Yadav. Okay. Then we'll focus on the kingdoms in South India, which is Pallavas, Chelas, Cholas, Pandyas. ठीक है? फिर ईस्टर्न इंडिया पे फोकस करेंगे हम पाल, सेन ऑफ बंगाल, वर्मन ऑफ कामरूप, भौमकारा एंड सोमवंशी ऑफ ओडिशा. फिर हम वेस्ट पे फोकस करेंगे विच इज योर मैथकास ऑफ वल्लभी एंड चालुक्यास ऑफ गुजरात. ठीक है? ये सब क्या है गाइस? दीज आर योर डायनेस्टीज ऑफ अर्ली medieval इंडिया. फाइन. सो अगेन यहाँ पे वी विल फोकस ऑन इन नॉर्थ इंडिया, वी फोकस ऑन गुर्जर प्रतिहार, कालाचूरी चेदी, गढ़वाल, परमार. तो इन सब पे हम फोकस करेंगे. ठीक है? सो व्हेन वी आर डिस्कसिंग देम, राइट, व्हेन वी आर डिस्कसिंग the kingdoms, so what are we going to discuss in that? We will discuss about the kings. Okay, these are the kind of questions that you can expect in your examination from this particular portion. ये जो पूरा portion है ना, यहाँ तक का portion जो है उसमें आप ये expect कर सकते हो. You can expect the names of the kings, the chronology, titles of kings, all right, dynasties, important works done, ठीक है, तो इन सब चीजों पे हम फोकस करेंगे. फाइन. सो वी विल लर्न अबाउट ऑल द किंग्स. ठीक है, सबसे पहले तो हम सारे राजाओं के बारे में जानेंगे. फाइन. देन वी विल लर्न अबाउट द क्रोनोलॉजी, एज इन विच किंग कम्स आफ्टर विच, बिकॉज कभी कभी आपसे क्रोनोलॉजिकली अरेंज करने का क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते हैं. फाइन. Then we'll also learn the titles which the kings have taken, because that can also be in the question. Sometimes they can give you match the following, sometimes they give you to identify which king belongs to this particular dynasty or not. Fine. Then we will also know the dynasties, which dynasty is related to what important works have been done by them, if any. Like for example, we have the Chalukyas, we have the Gujar Pratiharas, the wars which they have fought, the tripartite struggle, etc. So this is what we'll be focusing on. Fine. And then in the second topic, we will focus on administration, political structure, okay, of what? Of all of these kingdoms. जितने हमने kingdoms यहाँ पे discuss किए हैं, गुर्जर प्रतिहार हो, परमार हो, गढ़वाल हो, चोलास, चेरास, पांड्यास, whichever kingdoms are there, okay. तो इन सारे किंगडम्स की वी विल बी लुकिंग एट their administration, their political structure, their legitimization, society, economy, polity, but most importantly, we'll be focusing on their administration. तो हर एक kingdom का administration, administrative officers जो हैं, उन सब के बारे में we are going to get to know. Okay. Then we will move on to agrarian economy. So now see guys, when we're talking about agrarian economy, land grants, so this is what? This is all about your economy. Okay. So we will focus on what? We will focus on the economy of early medieval India. So we will focus on agrarian economy, land grants, graded land rights, peasantry, water resources, taxation system, etc. Then we'll focus on trade, patterns of trade, urban settlement, ports, sea routes, merchandise, guilds, etc. So all of these, this is again part of what? This is again part of economy. So here, what we will do is, we'll be focusing on the economy of early medieval India in general. हम यहाँ पे, we will not go into specific dynasties that we have discussed in the previous slide. We will not go that way. We will generally be focusing on what? Generally, we'll be focusing on this, that is your economy, society, polity, etc. of early medieval India. Trade also will come under economy. Fine. This is going to be part of your religion. Okay. So religion again in early medieval India, we'll be focusing on Vaishnavism, Shaivism, regional ramification, temple architecture, dan, teeth, bhakti movement. So we'll be focusing on all of these things. Okay. So economy, religion, fine, polity हम already discuss कर चुके हैं in the form of your administration. This is your society. Society of what? Early medieval India. So we'll be discussing one, caste, position of women, gender, intermarriage, property, women in public life, tribes as peasants, untouchability, सब कुछ, ठीक है. Then education also will come under your society as well, society only. So here we will discuss the institution, जैसे कि हम अग्रहार, मठ, महाविहार, growth of regional languages. This is what we will discuss, ठीक है. So this is where we end what? This is where we end our early medieval India, ठीक है. Then from here we move on to the medieval Indian part. Early medieval part खत्म हो गया. Now we move on to the medieval part, where we'll be focusing on the debates which are there on state formation. There are three debates as to how a state is formed. Segmentary model, you have the feudal model, and then you have the integrative model. So I'll be explaining all of these, don't worry. And then we will move on to the Arab contracts, which is your Ghaznavid and your Ghori. Ghurid, you can say invasions, fine. And with this, we will begin with what? With this, we will begin with medieval India. Okay. So again, we do the sources. आर्कियोलॉजिकल, एपिग्राफिक, न्यूमिस्मैटिक्स, इसमें बस हम थोड़ी सी चीजें और ऐड करेंगे, जैसे कि वी आर गोइंग टू ऐड पर्शियन सोर्सेस, वी आर गोइंग टू ऐड क्रॉनिकल्स, वी आर गोइंग टू ऐड सम ऑफ द रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस सोर्सेस, फाइन. Okay. Then we will see the dynasties which are there in the medieval ages. So we'll discuss the Delhi Sultanate, the Ghurids, the Turk, Khaljis, Tughlaq, Sayyid, Lodi and decline. Fine. Then we will discuss the the Mughal Empire from Babur to Aurangzeb. Then we will discuss the later Mughals. We'll discuss the Vijayanagar Empire. We will discuss the Marathas as well. So ये सब क्या है guys? ये सब आपकी डायनेस्टीज हैं ऑफ medieval India which we will discuss. So all of this will come under what? All of this will come under your polity. ये सब किसके अंदर आ जाएंगे? ये सब आपकी polity के अंदर आ जाएंगे, ठीक है? So we will discuss all the dynasties, be the Delhi Sultanate, ठीक है? We'll discuss the Mughals, we will discuss the Vijayanagar Empire, we'll discuss the Marathas. ये सब क्या है? ये सब आपके major empires हैं of what? Major empires of your medieval India, ठीक है? चलिए. Then again, Unit 5 is all about economy, society, polity, religion of all the kingdoms and of all the dynasties which are there in medieval India, ठीक है? तो जैसे कि हम administration की बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? So we will discuss about the administration of Delhi Sultanate, ठीक है? We'll discuss Shershah's administrative reform. We will discuss Mughal administration. Fine. We will discuss administration in the Deccan also. We will discuss the frontier policies of Delhi Sultan and the Mughals as well. ठीक है? और हम Maratha administration पे भी focus करेंगे. Okay. So what we're doing here is जो भी हमने dynasties अभी पढ़ी हैं, whichever dynasties we have just come across in the medieval ages, okay, we are going to be discussing about those same dynasties and we'll be discussing about their polity, ठीक है? और polity में हम क्या करेंगे? Polity में हम discuss करेंगे उनकी सारी administrative mechanisms, okay? चलिए, उसके बाद we move on to the economic aspect. So we will discuss about the agricultural production, irrigation system, village economy, peasant, land grants, etc. Industries, cotton, textile, handicraft, agro-based, trade and commerce, which is state policies, internal, external trade, European trade, communication. This is also, this is all this, ye pura. This is part of economy. Okay? So we will discuss what? We will discuss the economy of the dynasties of medieval India. ठीक है? तो इसमें क्या क्या आ जाएगा guys? इसमें आपका agriculture आ जाएगा, industries आ जाएंगी, trade and commerce आ जाएगा, और इन सब से related जो भी चीजें हैं, जैसे agricultural production से related you have irrigation system, village economy, peasantry, land grants, etc. Industries you have cotton, handicraft, agro-based, trade and commerce, state policies. So all of these we'll be discussing. These are the broader aspects of the dynasties that we have just discussed of medieval ages. And then we have some of the minor spectrums that we will be discussing for each of these broader aspects. Okay? Now, Unit 6 is all about society of again the dynasties that we have discussed of medieval ages. Fine. So we will discuss society and culture. Under society only we have certain aspects of religion like the Sufi silsila, the Bhakti movement. We'll also discuss the Sikh movement. Fine. So ये सब किसके अंदर आ जाएगा? This is going to be entirely under religion. ठीक है? This is religion of medieval India. So I'll be discussing the Sufi silsila, beliefs, practices, Sufi saints, etc. I'll be discussing about the Bhakti movement, Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Shaktism, okay? We'll discuss about the women saints in medieval India. Then I'll discuss about the Sikh movement, the teachings, practices, everything. तो ये सब हम यहाँ पे discuss करेंगे, ठीक है? Fine. Then We move on to the societal aspect of medieval ages. So we will discuss about the rural society, the chieftains, the officials, the cultivators, position of women we will be discussing. We'll discuss the development of education, curriculum, centers of education, fine arts. Again देखिएगा इस जो आर्ट वाला पूरा पोर्शन है ये यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक, फाइन आर्ट्स, इंडो अरेबिक आर्किटेक्चर, ओके, आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर ऑफ इंडो इस्लामिक आर्किटेक्चर, ये सब जितना भी है ना, दिस विल बी गिवन टू यू इन द फॉर्म ऑफ हैंडआउट्स, ठीक है, क्योंकि इसमें अगेन आपके पास बहुत सारी पेंटिंग्स होंगी, बहुत सारे पिक्चर्स होंगे, बहुत सारी आर्किटेक्चर्स होंगी, बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स के थ्रू एक्सप्लेन होंगी सारी चीजें, ठीक है. सो व्हाट वी विल डू इज, जितने भी आपकी आर्किटेक्चर, आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर वाला पोर्शन है, दैट विल बी गिवन टू यू इन द फॉर्म ऑफ हैंडआउट्स, ओके. और यहाँ इससे ऊपर क्या है, just above this we have the rural society, so we have the societal aspect of medieval India, fine. So we discuss the society, position of women, development of education, etc. तो ये broader aspects है society के, और इसके अंदर की जो भी चीजें हैं like petty chieftains, village officials, cultivators, these are your narrower spectrum of each of these broader aspects. Okay. Then we move on to modern India. So again, we will do the sources. The sources more or less remain the same. It's just that with period, we sometimes add some sources. So here we'll be adding what? Archival material. We will add newspapers, memoirs, monuments, coins, etc. Fine. Then we will see the rise of British power and other traders which were there in India from the 16th to the 18th century, which is Portuguese, Dutch, French, Britishers. In सब के बारे में हम जानेंगे. Eventually, we will see the establishment and expansion of British dominion in India. Then we will see the British relations with principal states, which is Bengal, Awadh, Hyderabad, Mysore, Karnataka, Punjab. इन सब से उनके जो relationships हैं वो कैसे रहे, फिर हम इसके ऊपर focus करेंगे. Fine. This is going chronologically, guys. Okay. You have the advent of Europeans here, then you have the British domination, then you have the expansion, the relationships, fine. Then we will discuss the revolt of 1857, causes, nature, impact, administration of the company and the crown. तो यहाँ पे ना हम दोनों चीज पे फोकस करेंगे, which is कंपनी के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पे भी फोकस करेंगे, which is East India Company. This was before 1858. And after 1858, with the Queen's proclamation, you know the administration of India has shifted to the British Crown. So we will discuss the administration which was under the Crown. We will discuss about the evolution of central, provincial structure, fine, paramountcy, civil services, judiciary, police, army, all of these under the company. तो कंपनी के अंदर इन सब को कैसे कैसे रूल किया जा रहा था, ठीक है. सो पैरामाउंसी क्या है, सिविल सर्विसेज कैसे ऑर्गेनाइज किए गए, जुडिशरी कैसी थी, पुलिस कैसी थी, ये सब हम डिस्कस करेंगे अंडर व्हाट, अंडर द ब्रिटिश पॉलिसी और अंडर द कंपनी व्हिच इज द इंग्लिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी, ठीक है, फाइन. Then we'll discuss about the local self-government and the constitutional changes which happened from 1909 to 1935. So you all know that the first Government of India Act was of 1909 only, है ना. So Government of India Act के अंदर जो भी changes आए हैं, जो भी constitutional changes आए हैं, whatever constitutional rights were given to the Indians, that we will be discussing under what? Under the constitutional changes. Okay. फिर हम बात करेंगे, now this is core colonial period, so we will discuss about the colonial economy, that is changing composition, volume, direction of trade, expansion and commercialization of agriculture, land rights, rural land settlements, rural indebtedness, landless laborer. तो ये पूरा जो है ना, ये पूरा economy, मतलब हम पूरा colonial empire पे focus करेंगे, which is your English East India Company, ठीक है. तो हम किस पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, हम पूरा कॉलोनियल एम्पायर के ऊपर फोकस कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. सो कॉलोनियल इकोनॉमी या फिर कह लो कॉलोनियल एम्पायर के ऊपर फोकस करेंगे. तो इसमें सब कुछ आएगा, इसमें आपकी इकोनॉमी का पोर्शन आएगा, इसमें ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ थ्योरी, डी इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, कमर्शलाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर, डिक्लाइन ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज, ओके, जैसा कि आप देख सकते हो, डी अर्बनाइजेशन, इकोनॉमिक ड्रेन, वर्ल्ड वॉर्स, फाइन, तो ये सारी चीजें आएंगी, ओके। देन वील ऑल्सो डिस्कस द ब्रिटिश इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसीज, द नेचर ऑफ फैक्ट्री लेजिस्लेशन, labor and trade union movement. So all this is part of what? This is part of your colonial economy, ठीक है। So English East India Company से ले करके British Crown तक किस तरह से British economy जो है वो organized थी, how it was affecting India, whatever was happening in India, like the drain of wealth, the deindustrialization, commercialization, the various revenue settlements which were introduced by them, how they destroyed the weavers, everything is going to be covered in detail here. So यहाँ पे हम पूरा economic aspect जो है वो detail में cover करेंगे, ठीक है? Okay. Then again you can see economic aspect continuing. So you have monetary, banking, currency, exchange, railways, road, transport, growth of new urban centers of Bombay, Madras, Calcutta, famines and epidemics. So there's a list of famines and epidemics which I'll be giving you, fine, and what was the government policy regarding them. And then we have a huge list of tribal and peasant movement as well, जो कि अगेन मैं आपको एक लंबी सी लिस्ट दूंगी इसको लेकर के भी, ठीक है। तो यहां तक तो देखिए क्या है गाइस, यहां तक इट इज स्टिल टॉकिंग अबाउट इकोनॉमी. फ्रॉम हियर वी हैव मूव्ड ऑन टू योर other aspects of the society. Okay, then we will see the Indian society in transition, which is we will see how they came in contact with Christianity, fine, and how because of the development of Western education, we will see that the Indian people started developing a critique of their own society and how they wanted to bring about a renaissance, or how they wanted to bring about a reform in their society. So here we will study about all the reform movements which have happened, ठीक है। So इसमें again हम new education, government policy, English language, science, technology, Indian Renaissance, which is social religious reforms, emergence of middle classes, caste association, women question के बारे में। So जो पूरा हमारा Renaissance movement है, sorry, ये जो पूरा हमारा reform movement है of reformation of Indian society, where we have reformers like Ram Mohan Roy, Chandra Vidyasagar, Pandita Ramabai, Rana Day also, we have Dayanand Saraswati, we have Ramakrishna Paramhans, Vivekanand, their contributions, etc., how they reformed the Indian society, what kind of legislations were passed, ये सब हम detail में देखेंगे, ठीक है? Okay. Then we'll also focus on the women's question, as in what kind of developments were done, or you can say what kind of changes were introduced in the society regarding women, fine. So इसमें nationalist discourse, women's organization, the British legislation concerning women, तो ये सब हम देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से औरतों ने जो हैं वो भी अपने हक मांगे हैं. They have also asked for their rights, like the Widow Remarriage Act, abolition of sati, etc. All that we will be seeing in detail. तो वो पूरा जो है ना वो हम डिटेल में देखेंगे कि कैसे औरतों ने अपने हक की लड़ाई लड़ी है. And it's not just women have fought, male members from the side of women also have fought for the rights of the women, and that is what we will be focusing on. ठीक है? All right. Now, Unit 9 is all about the national movement. Fine. So here we'll be focusing on the rise of nationalism. Then we'll focus on the birth of Indian National Congress. Okay? We'll focus on the ideologies and programs of Congress from 1885 to 1920, which is we'll be focusing on the moderates and the extremist phase of Congress. Fine. Then we'll be focusing on the assertive nationalist revolutionaries, that is Bhagat Singh, HSRA, Gadar Party, etc. इन सब पे हम पूरा फोकस करेंगे. इनको हम रेवोल्यूशनरी एक्सट्रीमिस्ट कहते हैं. ठीक है, तो हमारा फोकस जो है वो पूरा इनके ऊपर होगा. द मूवमेंट्स दैट दे हैव लॉन्च्ड, whatever activities they have conducted, all the conspiracy cases like Lahore conspiracy case, the Delhi conspiracy case, and we have the Kakori conspiracy case. So all that cases will be discussed in detail. Okay? Then we'll move on to Swadeshi and Swaraj, then the Gandhian mass movements, Subhash Chandra Bose and INA, role of middle classes, women's participation. Okay. Then we'll see the left-wing politics, which is your communist parties. We will see the rise of CPI, trade unions, etc. Then the depressed class movement, fine. Then we will see the communal politics, which is formation of Muslim League, genesis of Pakistan, and how we move towards independence and partition, and what challenges did India face after independence, which is partition, integration of princely states, कश्मीर, हैदराबाद, जूनागढ़ एक्सेट्रा, ठीक है। और उसके बाद हम मेजरली फोकस करेंगे ऑन द रोल ऑफ B.R. Ambedkar in the making of the constitution, what is the structure of bureaucracy that we follow, what is our new education policies, the economic policies, planning process, linguistic reorganization, ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है, linguistic reorganization, फाइन, बिकॉज इसमें बहुत सारे मिशंस वगैरह हैं वो। फिर लास्टली हम फोकस करेंगे फॉरेन इनिशिएटिव्स पे, जैसे पंचशील, डायनामिक्स ऑफ, सो वील फोकस ऑन द जियोपॉलिटिक्स ओवर हियर, ठीक है। सो इंडिया इन द ग्लोबलाइज्ड वर्ल्ड एंड वील फोकस ऑन द जियोपॉलिटिक्स ऑफ इंडिया, ठीक है। तो ये क्या है गाइज, ये पूरा आपका 9th है। और यूनिट 10 जो है ना, इट कैन बी डिवाइडेड इनटू बेसिकली 3 phases, ओके। सो इसमें क्या क्या phases हैं? So in this you have to know, basically you have to know your historiography, okay? You have to understand what is history, what are the different viewpoints regarding history, ठीक है? Sorry. So you will have to understand all the viewpoints which are there regarding history, fine? So you have historiography. Then you have historical method and research methodology, कि आप historical research जो है वो कैसे करते हो, ठीक है, fine. And finally you have, basically you have various methods of historiography, various methods of research, and then you have how you conduct a research, कि आप research कैसे conduct करोगे, ठीक है। तो इसमें क्या क्या चीजें हैं, all the historical methods, research methodology एंड हिस्टोरियोग्राफी, ठीक है। सो इसमें हम क्या क्या पढ़ेंगे, इसमें हम देखेंगे कि स्कोप क्या है हिस्ट्री का, क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है हिस्ट्री की, ऑब्जेक्टिविटी और बायसनेस के बारे में देखेंगे, ठीक है। वी विल फोकस ऑन द क्रिटिसिज्म, हाउ वी कैन प्रेजेंट हिस्ट्री, व्हाट आर द ऑक्सिलरी साइंसेस इन हिस्ट्री, as in what are the other related subjects in history. We'll focus on arts or social science, whether history is an art or is it a social science, fine. We'll focus on causation, imagination, significance of regional history. तो ये सब जो है ये क्या है guys, these are the various aspects of history, ठीक है। And this is what we'll be focusing on. We'll be focusing on the various aspects of history as to what history is, how is it, हम कैसे इसको करेंगे, क्या करेंगे, नहीं करेंगे, वो सब चीजों पे हम फोकस करते हैं, ठीक है। ओके। Then we have recent trends in Indian history. Again, this is part of your historiography. We'll discuss the various research methodology that you can use while you are doing your research, while you're writing your paper in PhD, or if you are to present your paper. मतलब अगर आपको अपना proposal present करना है तो उसके लिए भी बहुत अच्छा रहेगा ये. Then we'll discuss about what is hypothesis, area of proposed research, how you collect data, the various kinds of data which are there. And then we will discuss the trends which are there in historical research जो अभी तक हो चुकी हैं. हम इंडियन हिस्टोरियोग्राफी जो है वो भी देखेंगे. हम ये देखेंगे कि हम सिलेक्शन कैसे करते हैं टॉपिक का हिस्ट्री में रिसर्च करने के लिए, नोट्स टेकिंग क्या है, रेफरेंसेस क्या है, व्हाट इज फुट नोटिंग, व्हाट इज बिब्लियोग्राफी, व्हाट इज थीसिस, ठीक है, प्लेजरिज्म, हिस्ट्री राइटिंग. तो ये पूरा किस में आ जाएगा गाइज, ये आपका पूरा रिसर्च रिलेटेड है. सो व्हेन यू आर डूइंग योर रिसर्च या फिर जब आप अपना प्रपोजल सबमिट करोगे या जब आप अपना प्रपोजल फॉर पीएचडी सबमिट करोगे, और व्हेन यू स्टार्ट डूइंग योर एक्चुअल रिसर्च in PhD, that is when you will have advantage of these things. Okay, then most importantly we'll focus on the historiography, which is Renaissance historiography. We'll focus on the positive and negative schools of history writing. then we'll focus on the Berlin Revolution of history writing, Marxist philosophy, cyclical theory, challenge and response theory and postmodernism. तो ये सब क्या है? This is part of your historiography. ठीक है? तो इसमें अगर आप एक चीज देखो ना, तो इसमें दो मेन चीजें निकल के आती हैं. ठीक है? पहला क्या निकल के आता है? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, you have all the research methods, all the qualities and all the aspects that is required in a historical research. That is what your first focus is on. Fine? You have the historical methods, the methodologies, the sources, what is history, how is history, imagination, causation, various research methods. तो वो पूरा जो है वो आपका research में आ जाएगा. Which will help you in what? Which will help you in, जो आपकी मदद करेंगे किस चीज में? दो चीजों में. जो आपकी मदद करेंगे, एक तो प्रपोजल लिखने में, दूसरा when your proposal is done, when you started your PhD, it will help you in that as well. ठीक है? और दूसरा चीज हम क्या फोकस करेंगे? हिस्टोरियोग्राफी. ये दोनों चीज जो है, हिस्टोरियोग्राफी जो है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है? So that was all about your syllabus. Fine? So 10 units हैं हमारे पास guys, and it will take us some time to finish with your syllabus, but don't worry, that is the plan. हम पूरी कोशिश करेंगे कि हम syllabus जो है वो एकदम अच्छे से, बहुत अच्छे से डिटेल में करें, सब कुछ करें. I'll be giving you notes as well. मैं क्लास में ही आपको बहुत सारी चीजों के जो नोट्स है वो दूंगी, ताकि आपके पास सब कुछ at a given point जो है वो रहे. ठीक है? Okay, so this is all about your syllabus. So we have 10 units and we have various sub-units as well. Okay, so this is what we'll be focusing on, and as I told you, you can download your syllabus from the NTA website. ठीक है? तो देखिए guys, ये तो हो गई syllabus की बात, है ना? लेकिन syllabus के साथ साथ एक बहुत important चीज आती है, which is the strategy that you think you should be following so that you are able to achieve your goal of clearing your NET exams along with GRF. Maybe some of you are applying for it. So what will be the strategy of the course? So basically, we have designed the course in such a way that you will be able to learn the important concepts which are related to UGC-NET history, that too in a very objective manner. आपको mug up नहीं करनी पड़ेंगी चीजें. ठीक है? That is one thing. Then, because we have the syllabus with us, fine? And most importantly, we have analyzed the question paper, everything, और उस analysis के basis पे we have identified the focus areas, alright? And we'll be doing a lot of questions, we'll be doing a lot of focus, a lot of practice from these focus areas. तो इन areas पे हम बहुत अच्छे से focus करेंगे proper notes के साथ, which will really help you in acing your examination. ठीक है? You will have conceptual clarity. That is my main aim. You should be knowing whatever the concepts are. आपको एकदम अच्छे से clear होनी चाहिए. Sorry. हाँ, जो भी concepts हैं history के, वो आपको एकदम अच्छे से बहुत clear होने चाहिए. कहीं भी कोई doubt नहीं होना चाहिए, कहीं भी कोई confusion जो है वो नहीं होना चाहिए. So all the concepts, all the dating system, everything should be clear. It should be at one location. You should be able to find it. We have regular doubt clearing sessions. So every Saturday we have doubt clearing sessions. Just in case you have doubts in the sessions that we have conducted, if you have not been able to attend the live sessions, तो आप आके मेरे से पूछ सकते हो. ठीक है? We will be discussing the previous year's question. So after each unit, after maybe 1 or 2 units that we complete, we discuss the various previous year's question from those 2 units. ठीक है? तो मान लो हमने 2 यूनिट खत्म कर लिए, तो एक सेक्शन होगा जिसमें हम सिर्फ PYQs डिस्कस करेंगे. ठीक है? From what? From those 2 units that we have completed. Okay? तो इससे आपको एक आइडिया रहेगा कि किस तरह की चीजें आपको करनी है. Right? And again, as I told you, I'll be giving you a lot of handouts. So you will have everything at one location. You will have your entire notes with you. Fine. Now, you will also be given a book on history by Drishti publication. This will be reaching you for those who have opted for the course. Fine. We have regular mock test as well, and obviously regular and interactive doubt clearing sessions as well. ठीक है? अब ना 2-3 चीजें हैं जो मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ, जो मैं आपसे डिस्कस करना चाहती हूँ ऑन अ पर्सनल वन ऑन वन लेवल, ठीक है, एज अ टीचर, एज अ स्टूडेंट, ऑलराइट, आई हैव आल्सो बीन अ स्टूडेंट, आई हैव आल्सो बीन अ रिसर्च स्कॉलर गाइस, ठीक है। तो ये कुछ चीजें हैं जो मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस करना चाहती हूँ, ठीक है। सॉरी, ओके। सो क्या है जो हम डिस्कस करना चाह रहे हैं, चलिए मैं आपको बताती हूँ। ओके, सो ऑलराइट, so you know what, I cleared my net. This was back in 2018. So I cleared my net then, ठीक है, काफी टाइम हो गया। और I have been going through the question paper, okay, and I have realized one thing, that they have changed the pattern of question paper a lot, okay. So when I was just going through the question paper, I found out that there are certain things which I want to convey to all of my students, that you know, when you start preparing for your net, fine, be very thorough with your readings of graduation and masters. आपने ग्रेजुएशन में या मास्टर्स में जो भी रीडिंग्स की हैं, ठीक है, जो भी आपकी प्राइमरी सोर्सेज की रीडिंग्स रही हैं, जो भी आपके बुक्स रहे हैं, वट एवर यू हैव डन in your graduation and your masters, whatever readings you have done, I'm sure you would have done a lot of reading to frame your answers, right? So whatever readings you have done, for be it ancient India, medieval, modern, please be very thorough with those readings, because I have seen a lot of questions coming from those readings only. उस reading से बहुत सारे questions आते हुए मैंने देखे हैं, पिछले बारी भी और उसके पिछले बारी भी मैंने देखा है. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी थॉरो विद दैट, ठीक है. सेकेंडली आई वुड से कि प्लीज बी वेरी थॉरो विथ योर क्रोनोलॉजी. So be very thorough with your chronology as well, ठीक है. And when you're remembering the names of kings, please don't just remember their names. Remember if they have any other name, कोई second name है उनका, कोई जो उनकी original name है, जो titles उन्होंने take up किए हैं, that also you should remember. If they were called by some other name by the common people, तो वो भी आपको जो है वो याद रखना चाहिए. So remember all of that, ठीक है. But most importantly, please focus on your readings of your school कह रही हूँ, readings of your graduation and masters. जो भी आपने original primary readings की हैं, you have to be really thorough with that, because वो questions जो हैं अब बहुत ज़्यादा पूछे जाने लगे हैं, ठीक है. That is one thing that I wanted to discuss with you, fine. The other thing that I want to discuss is that you should have a strategy planned for yourself as well, okay. So what I would suggest is make a lot of notes, but make your notes in the form of flowchart, कि आप बस एक ग्लांस में जो है वो सारी चीजें आप रिवाइज कर सको, ठीक है. जस्ट वन ग्लांस एंड देन यू आर गुड टू गो, दैट यू हैव रिवाइज्ड एवरीथिंग, फाइन. So you should have your notes. How? You should have your notes in the form of flowcharts, guys, ठीक है. तो जो भी आप पढ़ रहे हो, whatever I'm teaching you, I also make sure कि मैं आपको जो भी नोट्स दूं वो इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फ्लो चार्ट ही रहेगा, जो भी मैं क्लास में नोट्स दूंगी, ठीक है. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फ्लो चार्ट ओनली, ओके. सो आई विल मेक श्योर कि वो सारी चीजें जो है वो फ्लो चार्ट के फॉर्मेट में ही रहे, ताकि आपको कोई दिक्कत नहीं हो, आपको याद करने में प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो. सो मेक श्योर कि जो भी आप टॉपिक्स कवर कर रहे हो इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फ्लो चार्ट, फाइन. एंड जो भी टॉपिक्स कवर कर रहे हो, जैसे मैंने टॉपिक्स कवर किए, तो मेरे साथ साथ ही अगर आप कवर करते जाओगे, इज गोइंग टू बी मच ईजियर फॉर यू, देन यू विल हैव नो बैकलॉग्स एज सच, ठीक है. तो जिस दिन मैंने जो कवर करवाया है, कोशिश करो कि उसी दिन आप उसको कवर करके खत्म कर दो, ठीक है. डू दैट. एंड आई जस्ट वॉन्ट टू टेल यू द बुक्स विच विल बी रेफरिंग टू. सो फॉर एंशिएंट इंडिया विल बी रेफरिंग टू उपिंदर सिंह, फाइन. For medieval India, we'll be referring to Satish Chandra and a lot of my notes from my college days, because that is what my specialization is in, medieval India. And for modern India, we'll be having a lot of spectrum and a lot of IGNOU notes जो हैं उसको हम refer करेंगे. Plus, I'll be referring to some of my notes as well. ठीक है? So this is the book list. This is your reading list that you should have, fine. Because इनमें से देखा है मैंने directly questions आते हुए. I have seen questions coming directly from these places. Literally वो line उठा करके दे देते हैं from these books. So you have to be really thorough with these books as well. अगेन जैसे कि मैंने कहा, सतीश चंद्र एंड उपिंदर सिंह, दे आर पार्ट ऑफ योर ग्रेजुएशन बुक्स, दे आर पार्ट ऑफ योर ग्रेजुएशन एंड मास्टर्स रीडिंग, सो आई एम श्योर यू हैव डन दैट, आपको इसमें कहीं कोई डिफिकल्टी जो है वो नहीं आएगी। तो ये बुक्स जो है हम इसका इस्तेमाल करेंगे, फाइन। सो आप ये बुक्स खरीद सकते हैं, यू कैन डाउनलोड देम, यू कैन कीप रेफरिंग टू देम, फाइन। और तो इससे आपको बड़ी आसानी रहेगी, आपको पता रहेगा कि मैं कौन सी चीजें जो है वो कहाँ से पढ़ा रही हूँ। सो यू विल हैव नो कंफ्यूजन कि मैम ये एकदम से कहाँ से आ गया, ठीक है। एंड अगेन गाइज, इफ यू हैव डाउट्स प्लीज फील फ्री टू आस्क। जब भी आपको लगे ना कि मैम बेसिक भी अगर कोई चीज है जो आपको लगता है कि नहीं समझ में आई मैम हमें, ओके, वन मोर थिंग इज कि बिकॉज आई अज्यूम दैट यू आर मास्टर्स और एटलीस्ट ग्रेजुएशन लेवल स्टूडेंट्स, तो बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो मैं अज्यूम करके चल रही हूं कि आपको पता होंगी, दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड, फाइन। सो विद दिस अजम्पशन आई विल बी मूविंग अहेड, ओके। तो हो सकता है कई चीजें जो है वो इस अजम्पशन में रहूं मैं कि आपको ये पता होंगी, तो हो सकता है मैं बेसिक्स जो है वो ना समझाऊं, बिकॉज आई एक्सपेक्ट कि आपके बेसिक्स जो है वो क्लियर होंगे, आई एक्सपेक्ट कि आपको आपके बेसिक्स का आइडिया होगा, ठीक है। दिस इज वॉट माई एक्सपेक्टेशन इज, फाइन। बट इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी दैट इफ आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट यू वुड ओनली नो दिस, है ना। ऐसा जरूरी नहीं कि आपको आता ही हो, ठीक है। जस्ट इन केस आपको ऐसा लगता है कि आपको ये नहीं आता है, सो यू प्लीज 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 रिक्वेस्ट, यू विल लेट मी नो कि मैम हमें ये बेसिक जो है वो नहीं पता है, सो रिक्वेस्ट कि आप हमें ये चीज एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए, एंड आई विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी टू एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू, ओके। सो नेवर शाई अवे फ्रॉम आस्किंग मी दोज डाउट्स, ऑलराइट। सो sorry, so I'll be just assuming certain things that you know them, that you understand them because you've already done them in your school and graduation etc. But if you don't, please feel free to let me know कि मैम हमें ये नहीं पता, आप हमें ये समझा देंगे तो हमारे लिए बेटर रहेगा, हम ज्यादा इजीली इसको समझ पाएंगे, ठीक है। और अगर आपको मेरे से कुछ भी एक्स्ट्रा चाहिए, कोई हैंड आउट, कोई फ्लो चार्ट्स, कोई नोट्स, कुछ भी, प्लीज फील फ्री टू लेट मी नो दैट ऑल्सो। आप मुझे जरूर बताइएगा कि मैम हमें ये चीजें एक्स्ट्रा चाहिए, ठीक है। और कल से हम हमारा लेक्चर जो है वो स्टार्ट करेंगे, और पहला लेक्चर जो है वो होगा सोर्सेस के ऊपर, फाइन, द सोर्सेज ऑफ एंशिएंट इंडिया, दैट इज व्हाट वी विल बी स्टार्टिंग विद टुमारो, ओके। So, all right, guys, this is about it. This is what I wanted to tell you. So, we have had a discussion on the syllabus. ठीक है, हम syllabus discuss कर चुके हैं. एक second. Okay, so we've had a discussion on the syllabus. ठीक है, हम syllabus discuss कर चुके हैं. We've had a discussion on the strategy that you should be following. We've had a discussion on what I feel that you should know. Fine. और जहां तक स्ट्रैटेजी की बात है, प्लीज रिमेंबर अपना सिलेबस एकदम सामने रखिए, जो जो टॉपिक्स हैं उस सिलेबस में उस टॉपिक को कवर करते जाना है, जैसे जैसे मैं पढ़ाऊंगी कोशिश करना है कि वैसे वैसे ही सारे टॉपिक्स जो हैं वो आप भी करते जाओ, फाइन। सो देयर इज नो बैकलॉग, जस्ट कीप डूइंग इट विथ मी, बिकॉज ये 1 क्लास पर डे विच इज अराउंड 2 hours, 1.5 2 hours, so I don't think it will be that much. So just keep covering those topics along with me. I'll tell you the books which you can refer, so refer to my notes, refer to the books, prepare your own notes, learn the topic, you'll be good to go, fine. And there are certain things जो शायद आपको नहीं याद हो पाएंगे अच्छे से, तो आपको लगेगा कि यार ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, इसको कैसे याद करें, जैसे डेट्स हो गई, क्रोनोलॉजी हो गई, names हो गए, just make a list of them, stick it somewhere where you just glide through it on a daily basis. You don't have to mug it up, आपको mug up नहीं करना है, ठीक है, आपको बैठ करके रटना नहीं है, नहीं, simply just paste on the wall and then every day go to that wall, read the entire thing, रोज एक बार, लेकिन पूरा अच्छा concentration से read the entire thing on a daily basis, maybe once, maybe twice, all right. And I'm guaranteeing it to you, by the end of your preparation journey, you would have remembered it all without even making that much of an effort. ठीक है? So, all right, guys, that's about it from my side. This is what I had to say. So, हमने हमारा syllabus discuss कर लिया है, हमारी strategy discuss कर ली है. मुझे आपसे जो कहना था मैं आपको बता चुकी हूँ. जो चीजें मुझे लगी कि हाँ अभी चीजें कुछ change हुई हैं, कुछ add हुई हैं. This is what I felt necessary. I've discussed it all with you. So there's nothing else left from my side for this particular class, which is orientation. Tomorrow we will start with the very first lecture, which is your sources. तो इसके साथ हम शुरू करेंगे, ठीक है? So चलिए guys, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you all. I will now see you in the next lecture. Till then, please take care. Thank you. And कल से हम sources के लिए start करेंगे. So be prepared with your notes and everything. Okay? All right. So thank you so much, guys. Till then, please take care. Thank you. Bye bye.